For the latest top tips, reviews and advice, please subscribe below.
Hi, I'm Owls. Today I'm talking about gas bottles, and with me today I've got the Gas propane range of bottles. The Gas is a UK based company, so it's predominantly just in the UK. They don't do anything in terms of continental Europe. So for people who are spending most time in the UK, it's fine. If you're going abroad sort of to Europe or whatnot, you want to look at probably the camping gas bottles, the small little blue ones. Now, Gas do a number of bottles in butane and propane. Today I've got the propane ones with me, and the thing with propane is a higher pressure gas. So the joys of this is you tend to get a better burn rate, and also in terms of temperatures, they go down to a lower temperature. So one thing you do find in sort of winter months, sometimes the butane can sort of freeze up and not work as well. So because it's a higher pressure, they can go down to a lower temperature. Now, the gas bottles we've got the 3.9, which is a small little dumpy one. We've got the 6 light, and then the 13 kilogram. So yeah, again, you can choose which bottle you tend to have in the range. Majority of motorhomes probably go for the 6 kilogram light. Most of them tend to be built for that, and it's lighter, so it's less sort of load weight, if you will. Now, the regulator you require for the bottles, or all four of these for matter, is this one here. So it is a reverse thread propane regulator. Normally what you tend to find is you need sort of spanner to securely fasten it on. Because it's high pressure, you'll make sure you've physically got a good seal on the bottle itself. Yeah, again, you've got a nozzle on this end, so if you want to get your hose, you just pop that in warm water to allow it to apply on, pop it on, dubly clip it, and you're ready to go, really. So in essence, that is the Gas range, and what I will go through in a minute is the butane range. So now with the butane range from Cala, we've got the 4.5, the 7, and then the 15. So a bit more heavy in terms of the weight of the gas in comparison to the propane range, so you get a bit more, and also in terms of the prices, they are a little bit cheaper because they're not sort of high pressured. So majority of people will tend to use this for cooking appliances, so your stoves, maybe a few occasional barbecues, that sort of thing, and also some people do use it for heating as well. So between the three bottles, they use 2 regulators. Depending on which bottle you go for, depends on which regulator you get for. So the main regulator you tend to see is this one here, which is a clip-on on the top. Now, the larger 15 and the 7 both use a clip on the top regulator, and then you've got the ability to dial and alter the flow. The smaller one, on the other hand, uses actually a screwing regulator. So it's still again a blue regulator with a screw thread, which is more of a female thread rather than a male thread. One thing you can normally tell by the regulator is what gas bottle you need. So if it's blue, predominantly you're going to need a butane bottle. If it's red, you're most likely going to need a propane bottle. If it's green, or sometimes can be silver, sometimes you'll need the patio gas bottles, which I'll move on to now. I've now got the patio gas here from Cala, so it's the green bottles rather than the red or the blue. Now these bottles are more predominantly aimed at sort of barbecuing, sort of patio heaters, that sort of thing. Now we've got a 5 kilogram and then a 13 kilogram. About probably 90% of people, when they have a barbecue, they have a regulator on it. It usually fits one of these bottles here. The regulator, which looks like something like this. So it's a clip-on, usually it can be red, could be green, could be silver. But like I said, what I would always do is come in store and check this first to make sure you're taking away the right bottle. So yeah, and it's just a simple point of clipping it on, and then you're ready good to go to put your hose on and whatnot. Now, the bottles itself with Cala works in a way that you need to buy a bottle first and then get the gas refilled on top. So the first time you buy one, it can be kind of a little bit more expensive. But all you do is take the new one away. Once you've emptied it, bring it back into us. We'll exchange it over. So we take the old one off you, give you a new one. We call it a refill, and then it's just a single charge. So it's a lot less in terms of money as it goes on. But that, in essence, is the Gas range. I will now move on to the camping gas range, which tend to be the smaller butane bottles meant for more predominantly going for Europe. Hello, welcome to Owls. Today I'm talking about camping gas bottles. One of the most common questions I get asked is, what gas bottle do I need for my stove? Now, it's pretty much anything you like, really. These camping gas bottles are brilliant because you can take them to Europe and UK. They're readily available across sort of the continent of Europe as well as the UK, and very sort of small, compact, ideal for camping. The particular bottle we've got here is a 907, and then we've also got a 904. So the 907 is about 2.75 kilograms of gas in comparison to 1.8 for the 904. Now, it's not necessarily the bottle weight as such, it's just the weight of the gas inside of it. The bottle itself, when it's new, weighs approximately about 6.5 kilograms in comparison to 4.8 for the smaller model. So when it's empty, it's a case of that is 3 kilograms in comparison to 4.6-ish. Now what you do find is, I do get asked, how do you know when the bottle's empty? It's kind of a case of, give it a little shake and see if you can sort of hear the gas inside. Alternatively is weigh it. Now they both come with sort of carry handles which if you remove, the regulator sort of screws on top. So you've got a screw thread there, and that's your regulator like so. So if you screw it on the top, be careful not to cross-thread it. So that goes on like so. Then you've just got the little nozzle you turn to open the gas. Once you take the handle or of the regulator off, it's incredibly safe. There's no gas escapes there because it's got a sort of self-sealing part to it. Now, one thing you can do is, if you pop your hose, it goes on the nozzle there, and that goes on your cooker. And what you can also do is purchase some Jubilee clips to hold that, make sure it's nice and safe. One thing, a little trick of the trade, is if you put the end in hot water before you put it onto your regulator or onto your gas stove or barbecue, it tends to make it a bit more easier to get on. That's definitely worth doing. The bottles itself, what you tend to do is have to buy the bottle first and then pay for a refill charge on top. So when you haven't got a bottle, you pay a bottle charge. Alternatively, if you've already got a bottle, you bring it into our shop, bring the empty in, we give you a new one, we call it a refill, and it's just a one single price then. So like I said, if you haven't got a bottle, you initially have to pay a sort of charge to own one before you have one. But in essence, that is the camping gas bottles.